The ice in my glass doesn't clink, it settles. It's a heavy, expensive sound, the kind of sound you only hear in rooms where the carpets are too thick and the ceilings are too high. I'm sitting in a leather wingback chair that cost more than my father made in a year, staring at a wall of first edition books I've never read. I look the part, don't I? If you saw me through the window of this penthouse, you'd see a silhouette of success. A man of stature. A man who won. But I'm a lie. I'm a beautifully bound book with nothing but blank pages inside. I call myself the curator of yesterday's shadows. My name is Julian, but it doesn't matter. Names are for people who leave a mark on the world. I haven't left a mark. I've only left a dent in this chair. I am 74 years old, and I have spent every single one of those years waiting for the right moment to begin. It starts with the hands. Look at them. They are smooth. No scars from a slip of a woodcarver's knife. No ink stains from a poet's midnight frenzy. No calluses from holding a woman's hand through a fever. They're the hands of a man who never touched his own life. When I was 21, the world was saturated in color, but I saw it in silver and grain. I had a Leica M3, a gift from a grandfather who saw a spark in me that I eventually smothered. I didn't just take pictures. I hunted for the hush between heartbeats. I remember standing on the Brooklyn Bridge for 6 hours in a freezing sleet, waiting for the exact moment a lone cyclist would pass under a specific street lamp. I wanted to capture the loneliness of the city. My mentor, an old man named Elias who smelled of tobacco and fixer fluid, told me, "Julian, you have the eye of a god, but the heart of a librarian. Stop waiting for the light to be perfect. The light is never perfect. The perfection is in the flaw." I didn't listen. I went home and studied physics. I studied the refraction of light. I bought expensive German lenses and calibrated them until my eyes hurt. I told myself, I can't be a photographer yet. I don't know enough about the chemistry of the film. I'm not ready. I spent 5 years being not ready. I watched men with half my talent and cheap, battered cameras sell their work to magazines. I watched them capture the riots, the kisses, the funerals, and the births. They were out there getting muddy, getting rejected, getting seen. And I was in my darkroom, perfecting the temperature of the water. I have a box in the attic. It contains 4,000 rolls of undeveloped film. 4,000 moments of life that I captured but was too afraid to look at, because what if they weren't as good as the images in my head? That box is my first grave. I'm a world-class photographer who has never shown a single person a photograph. Then came Clara. If I was a sterile, white-walled gallery, Clara was a street mural in a thunderstorm. She was a cellist, but she played like she was trying to break the instrument. She had this dark, chaotic hair that always had a pencil stuck in it, and she laughed like she was sharing a secret with the universe. I met her at a cafe called The Drip. I was there with a notebook, meticulously planning my career path. She sat down across from me because there were no other seats. She looked at my empty notebook and then at my polished shoes. "You look like you're waiting for permission to exist," she said. "No hello. No small talk. Just a knife to the ribs." I fell in love with her in the time it takes for a camera shutter to click. But I didn't tell her. How could I? I was a work in progress. I told myself I needed to be the kind of man who could provide for a woman like that. I needed a real job first. I needed a better apartment. I needed to fix my posture, my personality, my soul. I spent 2 years being her best friend. I was the guy who brought her soup when she was sick and helped her move her cello. I was the reliable one. But every time I looked at her, my heart was screaming. I had written 1,000 letters to her in my mind. I had rehearsed the "I love you" speech until it was a Shakespearean monologue. One night, we were walking through Central Park. The air was thick with the scent of blooming lilacs. It was the perfect moment. The light was hitting her face just right. The silence was an invitation. I opened my mouth to tell her. I felt the words rising. But then, that voice, my father's voice, the voice of dignity, whispered, "Not yet, Julian. You're wearing a cheap jacket. You haven't gotten that promotion yet. If you tell her now, She'll see you're a failure. Wait until you're a success. So I closed my mouth. I talked about the weather. I talked about the interest rates. 2 weeks later, I went to her apartment to finally say it. I had the ring. I had the speech. I had the new suit. I saw her through the window of the lobby. She was standing with a guy named Marcus. Marcus was a waiter at the cafe. He was wearing a shirt with a hole in the armpit. He was loud. He was messy. And he was currently holding Clara's face in his hands like it was the most precious thing in the world. She was crying, but she was smiling. He hadn't waited for a promotion. He hadn't waited for a better suit. He just saw her, loved her, and told her while he was still covered in the scent of cheap coffee. I didn't knock. I turned around and walked back into the fog. I spent the next 40 years becoming a success, just to prove to a woman who had forgotten my name that I was worth loving. My mother used to tell me, "A gentleman is never a burden, Julian. Keep your emotions in your pockets and your chin up." I did exactly what she said. I built a career in high-end real estate. I sold buildings I would never live in to people I didn't like. I made millions of dollars. I bought this suit. I bought this watch. I bought this penthouse. But have you ever tried to hug a marble statue? It's cold. I have acquaintances. I have people who want to be seen with me at charity galas. I'm the charming Mr. Thorne. I have a joke for every occasion and a polite nod for every waiter. But when the elevator dings and I step into this apartment, the silence is so loud it makes my ears ring. It's a physical weight. It sits on my chest while I sleep. If I died right now, in this chair with this glass of scotch in my hand, the world wouldn't stop. My assistant would call the police when I didn't show up for a meeting. The lawyers would swoop in to divide the estate. But there would be no one to cry over my socks. No one to remember the way I like my eggs. No one to miss the sound of my voice. I am the king of a kingdom of one. I'm telling you this, not for my sake. It's too late for me. The concrete has set. I'm telling you this because I see you. I see you looking at that canvas and thinking you need one more lesson. I see you looking at that person across the room and thinking you need to lose 5 pounds or get a better job before you speak. I see you polishing your shoes while the dance is already ending. The most dangerous word in the human language is soon. I'll start the business soon. I'll travel the world soon. I'll tell them I love them soon. Soon is a graveyard. Soon is where dreams go to rot because we were too dignified to be bad at something. Be bad at it. Be messy. Be a fool. Let them see you sweat. Let them see you fail. A failure is 1,000 times more alive than it could have been. A scar is 1,000 times more beautiful than smooth, untouched skin. Because a scar means you were there. It means you lived. I am 74. I have no scars. I have no stories. I only have this suit. And let me tell you something about this suit. It doesn't hug you back.